Choose a hero and which sides to take in the battle for Arathia. These choices will determine the enemies you face, allies you make, and ultimately, your own fate.
Fate. Your own fate.
What was that? I love it.
Someone doing an accent they don't have. That's what I think of.
Love it.
Hey, everybody. Oh, it didn't go down. Why didn't it go down? Oh, my gosh. Our pre-show ruined everything. You guys should hear our pre-show, but if you're not a patron, you won't, I guess, or if you don't come early enough. Anyway, hey, everybody. Welcome to Play Retro. This is Play Retro. We talk about old video games here, and I am one of your hosts, Scott Johnson, and I'm going to turn base myself into legendary status. I'm ready for a strategy game where your hero never fights, dragons pay rent in crystals, and losing your last town is 2-1 gremlin feels personal. Like chess, it'd be great if I could read what I wrote myself. Like chess, but with unicorns, fireballs, and vengeance. Oh, and call me Overlord, Overworld, Overlord.
Overlord. You wrote it a couple of days ago, right? So it's fine, right?
Yeah,
it's fine. It's fine. Sometimes you have to revisit your notes. I did mine like last week. So let's start it up here. And I'm your other host, Brian Dunaway. And I can stop anytime I want. No one is forcing me to go just one more time to see if I can beat however... Man, there's a lot of hellhounds guarding this gold mine or another faction, whatever.
Yeah.
Or find a leprechaun in a 4-leaf clover field to bestow luck on my level 6 castle knight. Nope, I can stop anytime I want. Oh, I can has unicorns?
You can has.
Yeah. Tell my wife and kids I love them.
Yeah.
Crag hack out.
Crag hack out. I like it.
Yeah.
You guys are like, what the hell game are they talking about today?
Right.
Well,
we
let me
both
tell
had
you.
trouble reading. It's a Tuesday, and it's been a good one.
I don't know, man. I would like to do today over if I could. If I could
just Tuesdays.
Go back and crank the day machine and go, roll that one back, boys.
We could do with Heroes 3 of Might and Magic. You could actually you could have scum save, and then we could just roll it back to the previous day.
That's right. We could have scum saved. I'm a scum saver. I have no
save your life.
I got no.
No.
What's the word? Vanity.
No pride.
I got no pride. I really don't. I don't care. Who knows that I scum save all the time in games? It's fine.
If you don't scum save, I'm going to judge you because this game is hard and there's no reason to make it harder.
Yeah, this game is a beast. We are talking about Heroes of Might and Magic 3, the third in the series, and pretty much still the best by everyone's account. I don't know anyone who thinks otherwise. So we'll see, because we got a brand new remake, like a full-on from the ground up remake of 3 coming, and perhaps that'll be superior. But and they've made some good games. There are plenty of Heroes of Might and Magic sequels that actually are strong entries in the series. But 3, man.
Yeah.
Ooh! Chef's kiss right up here.
3 was, the chef's kiss, baby. I had never played it before.
Oh,
but we're going to talk about that, too. I always thought this was another game. And I played it this week, and I was like, oh.
You thought, well, we'll get to it in a minute, because I'm very curious about what other game you thought you were playing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll get to it in a minute, but we got some other stuff to talk about real quick. I am really digging the Ambernick slide, which was lent to me by Kevin, a.k.a. KT Data, in our communities, in our chat right now. Yeah. And I've had enough time with it. I think I'm about ready to do a review. I will say ahead of time, I'm having a good time with it. I think this is a nice device. If I had only one beef, it's a little thick. That's all.
If I had one beef, it's a little thick.
Well, you don't think about it.
Wendy's needs to get you to write their next commercial.
Right? I've got it right. Where did it go? Someone moved it. Damn it.
Okay, T-Data. So sorry about your lost slide, Ambernick.
No, it's right here.
It's gone. It's gone, man.
It's right here. Someone moved it.
Someone moved it. You know what it was?
My wife.
Oh, your wife. My wife.
My wife did it. But yeah, this thing is a little thick, and that's the idea. It's a slide.
Yeah.
The controls and stuff are, right up against the screen, hidden exactly. So of course it's thick. You don't want like non-existent sticks and stuff. But it is the one thing I would say to people, and I'll do this in my final review. But basically, if you're okay with having a little bit of thickness to the device,
dude, I love a little thick. I like a little.
You like a little bit of thickness?
Yeah,
you're down with that?
Thick.
Okay,
I'm down with the thick.
You're a girth man.
My Steam Deck is no skinny.
No,
right?
no. Steam Decks are big old fatty. Even this new Switch 2 over here is pretty big. It's pretty big.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's just
I got big hands.
Yeah, you got big hands.
All the better to grab my Wendy's beef burger and shove it in my mouth.
Tasty.
Tasty.
What'd you get up to this week with the old... Oh, did you go to the Southeast Game Exchange?
So I went to the Southeast Game Exchange. If you're not familiar with that, is where a bunch of retro gaming and card collecting nerds gather. And
pinball? No pinball? How do they do that?
There was a little pinball, but that's not the main reason. Most of it is people selling retro games. A lot of retro stores across the Southeast show up and show out what they have in stock. And I looked for a couple of things. I was looking for the Atari Jaguar, the Atari Lynx. I was looking for a TurboGrafx 16 PC Engine, and the Sega Game Gear, if I could find one functional. And I did find the last one, and it was at a decent price. I found all of them, actually. I also wanted the Sega Saturn 3D controller, but every time I saw the other ones, except for this Game Gear, they were all priced as high or higher than I could find it on eBay. And that's fine, but I didn't want to have to make those decisions on the spot about something that I could wait on. This Sega Game Gear, this over here, I don't know if it's had a recap, but the booth I stopped at didn't have anything else that was really like this, and they kind of had it shoved in there with a bunch of other stuff that was more recent. And it had a little sticker on it, and it says $60. It says, "Does this even turn on?" They said, "Yeah, of course it does. What do we do with the batteries, guys?"
Goodness.
And they just set up. I got there on Friday. I was like one of the first people at this booth, and I was like, I need to see if it's going to turn on. And it's like just did $50. And I was like, okay, I'll take a chance, because I looked at it physically, it looked fine. Turned on, put the batteries in. It's probably going to need a recap, just like all the rest of them. It may have been recapped. I don't know. I got to pop it over and look at it, but I'll tell you this right now. It works for $50.
I see it running.
Not bad.
Running right there. Was that Sonic 2, is it? Or what do we got there?
That is one of the Sonic games there. It might be Sonic 2. And I picked up a bunch of Game Gear games, some of the ones we've already covered here on the show, like the Lion King and this Mickey Mouse thing, and a couple we haven't covered and hope to cover sometime in the future. For very reasonable prices. We had somebody down from Jersey. I order lots. I'm on the East Coast, so I order out of Jersey lots of times because they have the most abundance of, usually retro gaming stuff.
Sure.
California usually has a lot. Jersey has a lot, and I just, East Coast, I can order quick.
California's a long ways away. I mean, we're not talking like, Biggie versus Tupac levels of competition, but you'll get them on the East Coast if you can. I get it.
That's right. Yeah. And it looks like the chat room's already spotted my very special prize. That's right. I got the Sega Master System Choplifter for $5. I was like, I can't not get Choplifter.
Yeah, especially for $5.
For $5.
By the way, that's a pretty good version of Choplifter, that game.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Matter of fact,
I like
the further we go into the retro gaming history, the more that I realize what a treasure my Sega Master System is, and the fact that that was my first system that I had growing up.
It also just did so many... It's not everything, but a lot of things were just better on there. You had less flickery, sprite work. The NES was flickery as hell. So even that game right there, less flicker playing Choplifter on that device than you would have ever had on your NES. It's a bummer they just didn't get the library. If they'd had the depth of library and first party titles, you would have seen a better competition, something closer to SNES Genesis era happening in the 8-bit time, but it just didn't happen.
Sega kind of got drug into we forget early on, Sega kind of got drug into the console market. They were doing great at the arcade already, but they were like, oh, we want to release our titles on a home system. And it's like, oh, these other companies are kind of growing up a little bit, and they're kind of causing problems. And it's like, let's just get into the market. And they did. Boom. Next thing you know, you got Mark V, and then you got the Master System, and then suddenly they're all in. They're like, all in. Let's do it.
You know what I like about this website they've got for the exchange, for
Southeast,
the thing? They're cashing in on some of that Donkey Kong visuals. Look at that logo. Look at the font. Look at this background jungle bullshit. That makes me want to play some Donkey Kong.
They had some guests there. They have voices for some of the video game characters. They have something that was really just cracking me up. We talked pre-show about Muscle, which is like these little pink rubbery guys we used to have growing up, and like rubber, like pencil erasers. Anyway, I found some of those, but they had a real wrestling ring there.
Oh,
the wrestling, yeah. Because at first,
anyone you'd recognize from a pro level thing, or just
I didn't go to that corner because I was there for 4 hours and I did not stop looking because there were so many tables of stuff I had to go through. It was insane. I should have stayed 2 days, but I was like, no, I'm going to get this, going to get done, and get out of here. And so I don't spend a lot of money.
They got some modern stuff there too. I noticed in this video, it's not just old stuff. It's like video games in general. Yeah,
they have video games. They have arcade setup stuff. They've had they even had an area for playing like a Rock Band and different things like on a stage. And I'm like, I'm not gonna. Who's gonna do that?
Just Dance. You should have got up and done the Just Dance on the Wii or whatever.
Did they have the Just Dance up there? I don't know.
The video showed it.
They had a whole section of system setup so you could play like local LAN games and stuff. It looked amazing. I just didn't have the time to do everything that was going on there. I really next year just need to plan like all 3 days. Just go stay in a hotel nearby. I'm not that far, but it's exhausting. Every day is freaking exhausting. But I would be shopping and all of a sudden you'd hear somebody get slammed on the mat. It was great.
Yeah.
It was magic.
That's cool though. I'm glad you're able to go. Did they are there company shop owners that are there to like actually make deals and I got all this stock. Do you want to buy it for your location? That kind of thing?
Yeah. People, they buy stuff too. People bring their stuff to sell, trade. Wheels and deals going on all day. And there's so many different flavors of type of people you're dealing with. Some are like almost like big companies with like salespeople who are all real professional. And you're like, whoa, what are you doing here, dude? I'm used to dealing with comic book guy, right? I don't know who this guy is. This guy's, he sounds like he makes big purchases of retro gaming stuff, and then they repair them, and then they resell them. So that's healthy.
Yeah,
but
I see some voice actors for some stuff. That's cool. I like that.
Voice actors for some stuff.
Yeah,
it's a really neat event. I would love for you to come down to the Southeast Game Exchange. It's really big.
Is it every year this time of year? Always July?
Yeah.
I may have to do that next year. That sounds all right.
It's like I said, it's huge.
Get a hotel, stay there 3 days, no big deal. Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me with your foul ways.
Well, maybe we could even be guests. Maybe we could horn our way in there. Be like, hey, look at us. We do podcasts. We do a show.
Yeah, they'd let us get a little stage time, do a little bit of live business, whatever.
Buy my product.
Buy my product. Try my product, we'll say.
Try my product.
We'll just give them a sample of the show and then get the F out.
That's right.
Well, yeah, if we did that, we'd arrange some little South meetup business for locals and people who want to come out and see us and hang out and say hi. Right. Yeah. All right. Well, that's awesome, dude. Congratulations on a well-spent time in the Southeast Game Exchange. We will now dive directly into the deep end of the pool, which contains our main topic.
Shall we play a game?
Indeed, we shall. We're going to talk this week about HOMM3, for those who love the game. HOM3. It is Heroes of Might and Magic 3, and this was originally by New World Computing. It is the third entry in the series of one of the most beloved series in a long time, although I feel like recent decade or so, it's just sort of fallen out of view, but it's also a very specialized kind of fandom. It's not very general audiences, I would argue. It's very fiddly. Yeah. It's very turn-based strategy game, which a lot of the kids aren't really into. You have to convince them to take turns to do anything. So I went through that period. I'll admit it. Most of my childhood, teens, and even into my late teens, early 20s, if it wasn't real-time strategy or action-based shooter this or that, forget it. But then I got hooked, and one of the games responsible for this is Heroes of Might and Magic 3. This game grabbed me by the noodle.
The noodle?
And would not let go of the noodle.
The whole noodle, huh?
Yeah, the whole noodle, and would not let go. I mean, I really, really liked this game back in the day. I will say, having fiddled with it this week, it's a lot harder than I remember.
Dude, I never played this game. I've had people tell me before, man, you need to play Heroes 3 of Might and Magic, Heroes of Might and Magic. And I always thought the same thing. What a boring name. What a boring, stupid name.
Well,
like all the other fantasy, boring, stupid things that were like trying to vie for my interest. But I already had Age of Empires. I was already invested in, this medieval fantasy kind of resource management thing, and I seen screenshots of heroes, and I was like, man, I'm already doing that. Man, I was wrong.
Well,
it's nothing like those games.
Well,
it's nothing like the games I was playing.
Yeah, though that's an RTS. This is definitely not that.
Yeah,
this is mostly a multiplayer focused experience. The other one is definitely not, and it's also this is full of dragons, magic, and wizards. And
wait, is it about might?
Yeah, I'd say might and magic, whereas
soldiers, and then
Age of Empires is more about might and gold digging. That's it.
Yeah. Much more. Yeah. Plus, you got to remember too, people forget this. It's fun to go back and look at Heroes 3, Heroes of Might and Magic. It looks so fun now because it's of an era, but it's not actually from that era. It's actually from the era just prior to that, because the artwork is not 1999 artwork, is artwork right before then.
Yeah,
and so
I think that's fair. Sure.
Yeah. So it now it looks fine, doesn't faze me at all. But then it was like, what is this last year's looking, artwork? Get out of here with this mess.
Yeah. Little did you know, if you could go back and visit yourself, say, listen, you're going to be super retro one day, and that's all you're going to care about.
After this week, I'm like, I get it. It's the game loop. It is, the just one more in this game loop of heroes, of, exploring the overworld and then getting in these battles and just slowly crawling and making your hero, increasing them in an organic way. You're not, you just do it organically, and the tech trees are all like easy to see.
Yeah.
Right. You don't double drill down a tech tree. You just kind of go, oh, here's the tech tree. Bap.
Still super easy to see. When you play it now, you just go, oh, I know exactly what I need to do here.
Quick recognition, and you don't feel like anything's tripping you up. You just feel like everything just flows.
Yeah.
They got it.
Yeah,
they really got it.
I totally agree. It holds up. It really holds up, and it holds up in a way that, despite its difficulty, is just as playable. Like the fact that they're remaking this finally, I'm a little bit surprised it took them this long, because there's a lot of interest in these games on platforms like Steam and GOG and that. Right. So why wouldn't you want to take advantage of that? There are competing games, the Age of Wonders games. They have a sci-fi spinoff. I forgot the name of that. Wonder Planet, whatever the hell it is. I forgot. Planet of Wonders. Anyway. There's the one that we're going to recommend a little bit later that is more of a indie game. I forgot the name. Where is it? It is called Songs of Conquest. Yeah, that is an amazing game. Plays great on Steam Deck, by the way. Cannot recommend that enough. But those games have an audience, and I think these guys are finally like, you know what? Why don't we just do this? And I think probably an up-res was not enough. It shows its age. This is some old spritey, pre-rendered spritey business. Think Diablo 1 kind of era. Yeah. Time to
and
kick
Ubisoft
that out.
already did back in 2015. They did an HD version of this, and it was not well received. And
it looked like ass is why those models were terrible. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it looked rushed, and it looked like they just tried to upscale the pixels without redrawing stuff, and it just didn't do well. Besides that, there was already a really great community project going on where you could do Heroes of Might and Magic 3 complete, and throw some HD wrappers around it and do different screen sizes, a community that was multiplayer so that you can log into lobbies and find matches. And so
I think I saw a screenshot of you messing with that. Didn't you play around with that a little bit? The wrapper thing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I totally did that. Super easy. Just go to Nexus Mods and grab. This is how I played it this week. I grabbed the Good Old Games version, which was like $4.99. That's the complete edition, which includes the original
plus 2 expansions, right? Or 2
and then the
DLCs
2 expansions.
They weren't standalone though, were they? You had to have the previous games, so they were expansions.
So no, actually, that's not true. So that kind of confused me, and I would have been kind of mad too if this had happened to me. If you get the restoration of Arathia, that was the original release in '99. Then you could get the upgrade for Armageddon's Blade, which is a really cool little story. Added some stuff. But then if you get the Shadow of Death, which came out like a year later, it includes Armageddon's Blade and includes the restoration of Arathia and some quality of life fixes and stuff too. So
okay, so the second
it's
Armageddon's
standalone.
Blade is a little bit more like DLC, whereas Shadow of Death is like, hey, here's our basically Game of the Year edition. It's got everything.
Yeah.
That's interesting. It's that's a weird way to do it, but I guess we hadn't really settled on how that was going to work yet back then.
Nope.
We didn't know.
We didn't know
They
nothing.
didn't know anything either. Here's your basic story, by the way. There is a story to this game. Queen Catherine Ironfist. She sounds like trouble. She returns to Arathia to reclaim her father's throne. Features tight turn-based strategy and you walking around doing shit that is all in service of that story. There's some city building. There is some resource management. Oh, you see a gold mine guarded by a couple of trolls. No problem. If you got the army, go over there and take them out. Now you have the gold. It's yours.
And now it's yours. You put your little blue flag in there, and you move on. It's 1v7, I think. So you got. I haven't found the exact terminology. Please forgive me, you HOMM3 fans, because I've only had a week to learn as much as I could about this, and it's over 20 years worth of close to 25 years worth of stuff, 26 years worth of you people loving it and never quitting this game and playing it.
Good Lord.
I'm doing the best I can.
Can't believe it's been that
the first
long.
thing I couldn't understand was like, oh, how am I supposed to play this? Well, I saw the opening movie that you're forced to watch. And I was like, well, I want to play that scenario.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, who do I pick? Because I got to pick a faction or a story or a campaign. I don't understand. And I'm like, what are factions even? Especially when the factions are called like Castle, Rampart, Tower. And I'm like, wait.
Necropolis, Inferno.
Those are those are locations. Those aren't factions.
It's a weird name for factions.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, your home base, whatever that would be, like if you're knights and that sort of thing, you would have a castle. If you had a rampart, you were more natural, elves, unicorns, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And
you're a necromancer, you got a necropolis. Necropolis.
That's right.
Necropolis.
That's Necropolis.
We saying that right?
And
I think so.
I think we're saying it right. But what at first it seemed very daunting to play this game. I was like, oh my God, I'm not gonna be able to get through this.
There's a lot in here. There's a lot. Yeah.
But really, if you play the tutorial and you jump right into the first campaign, they'll walk you through it. It's not overly hard because they start you out on the easiest. You can ramp it up if you want to. This game ended up being real easy to learn, a lot easier to learn than I thought it would be.
Yeah,
and then,
that's one thing I like about it. It's one of the things that makes it stand up still today is that you can just get in. This isn't like coated in layers of like, oh, we've learned to do that stuff better. Like it's actually still kind of the model. And all these other games that try to be this, all the pretenders to the throne, including their own follow-ups, they just follow that template. That's how strong it was at the time.
Yeah. And it's such an interesting mix too, because at first I was like, oh, this feels like. At first, I was getting worried. I was like, "Oh, this is going to be a JRPG." You know, I'm going to like have all these random encounters, and no, you don't. You choose your battle.
Yeah,
you have your hero. You have a hero, and that hero carries around creatures. Which also the terminology confused me. Learning the terminology was probably my biggest hurdle this week because the first faction you play as, if you follow the storyline of the campaign, is Castle, which is your knights, and they keep mentioning creatures, and I'm like, what do you mean control my creatures? All I got's a bunch of paladins and archers and knights.
That's who they are, man.
They're creatures. Those are creatures in the classification. Once I got my stupid little brain wrapped around that,
it's like games that call everything a unit. And when I think of units, I think of single unit sometimes. Like when I play a game like a 4X game, something like Civilization, it will refer to my entire grouping of dudes as a unit.
Unit, yeah.
And like in the military use of the term unit. Mm-hmm. But then if you play something like StarCraft and I select one Marine, Space Marine, that is considered a unit. I have selected a unit. So it kind of just depends on where you came from at this genre. Yeah. And so some people came to it and were confused and then figured it out. Some people came from it and got confused because they played some real-time thing where the terminology got used in different kinds of meanings. It can throw you, man.
It could throw you.
Yeah.
Each hero has slots that you could put your creatures into and you can stack them. And then there's something called a one stack, which I learned. This is how I play games now. It's not the way I always play games. now when I play a game, I kind of don't concentrate too much on what I'm doing when I first start. What I really do is watch what the computer is doing. I'm like, what's the computer doing? Okay, the computer seems to be, instead of having, 100 knights in one stack, because there's I think there's 8 stacks. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's fine. I don't care.
Sounds right. Yeah.
And so, let's say I put them all in the far left-hand slot. And I go, boom, there we go. And I go fight. That unit or stack seems pretty strong and is beating everything up because, it's all bundled together. It's bunched up.
Yeah.
But the computer was going, no, what you need to do is you need to, stack evenly, small stacks. You can still leave one large, but make everything else. Fill every slot because there's retaliation that happens when you're fighting. So if you hit somebody, they may hit you back. And if you have everybody in there, in one, you take the full damage. Whereas if you got a smaller stack, it doesn't take as much, which is weird, but it's all strategy. And you just watch the computer, learn how to do it, do the same thing back to the computer until you do it better.
Yeah.
And then you go, take that, stupid computer.
That's basically the rundown. I don't think that's too wrong. And it's just, but once you're into it, though, it's really good. So we need to have a little fight here, though, about favorite quote unquote town / faction / starter, where you want to start.
Who do you prefer? Is it
Inferno Town all day, every day?
Interesting.
They have amazing units.
Right.
Unit types, I should say. Right. Demons, fire-based abilities, AoE stuff I really like. Right. That is my jam. So, and that's kind of true in a lot of the games like this. If you're going to give me an option to take a faction that just shoots fire everywhere and just burns everything to pieces, I'll either take that or I'll take a faction that's centered around ice abilities and cold.
Right.
So it's weird. I like those two extremes of the elemental package. I like that.
Right. I'm down with that. Now, I started off in the campaign and I started doing castle stuff. And for some reason, I think the rigidness of it, because some of these seem to be, it's all perception. It's not really fact. I feel like some of them are rigid. And I end up playing the stronghold. So that's kind of your barbarians or brute force.
Sure.
They have really high morale. Nothing pissed me off more than when I'm playing, doing a fight and one of my characters goes, oh. this doom and gloom falls over top of them because the morale has a big play because if everybody is up and boosted like barbarians, then they'll rally a second turn. So they'll take their initial hit and they'll rally up and they'll take another hit. And that feels good to me for some reason. It just feels so defeatist whenever my dudes go,
yeah. There's a lot of that kind of sound effects. So you notice I haven't played a lot of sound from this game because it's fine. It's all perfectly suitable for what it is, but there's nothing here that's the unique soundtrack or the music or even the character voices. It's fine.
Music is good.
I'm not saying it's bad. Good. It's just not notable. It's not like that's a huge reason why people have nostalgia for it. You
actually should. Oh my God, the community effort that is in this ecosystem is incredible. There are tons of mods. There's tons of music things you can do to make it even more big, even feel bigger. I didn't get a chance to do all that stuff. All I had a chance to do was to get the Good Old Games Complete Edition, which is the one you should get. Don't go to Steam and get the HD version from Ubisoft. That one's crap.
Poopy poop.
Everybody universally agrees. Crap.
The GOG, the GOG version's way better, and is the one you should get.
Edition.
Yeah, get that, and then do the mods like you're saying. I think that's a sweet way to go with this.
And don't worry about it; it's super easy. Get the HD mod. Nexus has it. If you go over there and look for the Heroes 3, you'll find it. And there's the HD stuff, and allows you to do all the sizes you want. It allows you to do the multiplayer stuff, so you can play online and. It's just smooth, easy. It's a wrapper. It doesn't even change anything in your Good Old Games folder. It just sits in there with it, and you launch it, and then it launches the application. And
here's some music, by the way, right here.
Yeah, appropriate.
A little overworld music right here. You have found gold. Anyway, it's all right. It's okay. Like I say, it's nothing fancy. It's just there.
there's so many little game mechanics that I fell in love with this past week. And part of it's because this game makes you feel smart, even though I know I'm not smart. I've watched people play strategy games, and I know people who are smart. But stuff like it's so intuitive to go, oh, look, I'm about to lose this match. What should I do? And it's like, oh, here's some options down here. In addition to fighting, I could also, for a short period of time, surrender. And I'm like, well, that might be a good idea, especially if I clicked on somebody. Because when you mouse over top of a unit, another hero who's the villain in your case, it might show you some information about it. But once you get into it, you're like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
And you've been working really hard to level up these heroes by visiting, different places that boost your knowledge, your skill set, your defense, and everything. And you don't want to lose your heroes, so you surrender. And they'll let you go back to your home base or the closest castle or whatever tavern, so that you can go back and recruit them again, hopefully. But you go back with your troops and most everything. You don't lose very much by making it. It doesn't punish you. This game doesn't punish you. If you make a mistake, you can surrender if you do it quickly and get out of there and save your hero so you don't lose all your progress. You might have to rescout the area where you was at to kind of get back where you were at, but you won't lose much. You also can do retreat. And if you do that, then you do lose your troops, but then you still keep a lot of your perks. But your hero has to go back to the tavern. You can go get them. Now, if you stupidly stay and fight a losing battle, and you've put a lot of interest in that hero, you better hope you saved.
Yep.
Because that guy's gone.
Don't be embarrassed. Save scum. Do it.
Do it.
Just do it. That game wants you to do it. Actually.
Yeah, it actually does want you to do it. This game does not want to punish you. It wants you to have a good time.
It's your friend.
It wants to reward you.
Yeah. This game is your friend.
I'm not saying it's not frustrating, because I've been in many situations where I'm like, ooh, it's going to be really close.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's going to be, I don't know. I'm looking at the stats of these guys. Mm-hmm. You can really min-max this game too. I kind of started getting a little bit sad when
absolutely.
When I started watching some YouTube videos, I was feeling good about myself. I'm like, I'm playing pretty good. I forgot I was playing everything on easy, but I was feeling pretty good about myself.
Yeah.
And then I went online and was reading about min-max, and I'm like, holy crap. I mean, you got to consider whether or not the troops you're carrying with you got to consider their max speed, because that actually can affect how far you can go on the overworld. I'm like, oh.
But that's just games though now, right? Like, people min-max everything.
Then.
Yeah, no,
Right.
I know, but these games where that kind of deep strategy exists, even the old ones, the retro stuff, people somewhere somebody's got the perfect way now. I kind of hate that with games. And I understand it, right? It's the limitation of a video game is that eventually the math is all there. You just got to figure it out and figure out the best way to do this. But min-maxing makes me tired. I
watched a video today, and this guy we hadn't even talked about some of the really cool stuff they do. Like me and you, we loved first-person shooters like Quake, because we were able to do the WAD files, right?
Yeah.
So where's all the data? We can make mods on those things fairly simple.
Sure.
Heroes 3 came with a great map editor.
Yeah, I was going to say it had a built-in editor. It was nice.
Yeah, it has a built-in editor. You can make your own scenarios, which, by the way, that's a couple of ways you can play. You can play a campaign or a single scenario, which has these just huge amounts of crazy scenarios that you can do. Every one of them, I won't say story rich, but the stories are flavor that is just enough to make you feel something without going in too deep.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a good way of putting that.
And I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. There's enough narrative drive to this. It is neat. It's like, I don't know. Part of what I love about the game, or love about the series, and love about games that are based on it, is that there's a fiddly aspect to it where it doesn't feel like work or like too much going on, too much micro. People would call it micro management. I would say that there's just enough, and it feels good,
right,
to look at these maps and go, oh, there's shit over there. Like you have a feeling of exploration, even though it's top down in the overworld. Right. The fights themselves have cover and interesting things in the way and things that would affect you if you are a certain faction, so that you can't, do certain terrain or whatever. Or you're not as good on certain terrains and that kind of thing. Like that kind of stuff is great, and it just makes you feel like you're smart, even if you're not min-maxing. You're maxing. You're at least maxing.
Yeah.
You're having
maxing.
fun.
You're maximizing your fun, and I think that our discussion so far, I think it's a really good illustration of why people who love it, and people who have never played it are like, nah, because there's no fast sell. You can't go. It's a first-person shooter on Mars, and it's got connectivity to hell.
Yeah,
you can't sell it like that because you got to. There's so much stuff. Your plan's a hero. Okay. And you're guiding creatures. Okay.
Whole armies. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, here's the thing though. You
can't easily describe it.
No, I agree with you. If you're trying to talk to an action-based audience, my voice cracking, or if you're trying to talk to like some D&D guys, they'll get it right away. They'll get it. They'll go, oh, you take turns, except you're not playing multiplayer. You're just, you have so many action points. Oh, okay. I mean, they get these core concepts, and if they already enjoy that kind of TTRPG experience, then I think this is perfect for that group. But it really is. That's what I'm saying. Is a very specific kind of player, and that's why I don't think you see big mainstream competitive games now. You don't see Sony coming out and going, "We've just made the best." One of these, they don't do, no, because that's not the general audience they aim for. I'm not saying they make bad games. Of course they don't. They make amazing games, but they're meant to cover as much bread as the butter can spread.
Yeah.
These are for a guy with a cracker that's a little weird and some strange butter on it,
I feel like this is like D&D arcade or something, because you do mention like your action points. Okay, how much movement do you get? That took me like a good 15 minutes to even understand how that part of it works, because I was like, well, where's it at? Where's my point set? Where can I go that gives me a number that you're working off
but
of?
That's the beauty though, because you'll have a baseline, and then the different factions will have different baselines, and then there are bonuses throughout the game that you can acquire that will give you longer day, or more travel per day, and some less depending on what you're doing. And say that, and my first impression is like, how's that hard? But then I remember this was one of the first things that I had to figure out back when I played it.
Yeah.
Because these concepts at the time, I was like, what the F are we doing in this? Now it's just, I know it. Like it's the sock. It's like a comfortable sock. I can just wear it.
I've got a movement bar that's green. So somebody tried to explain it to me. I was streaming it online, and I was like, how far can I move? I'm like, I see that you move over the overworld with your mouse, and you point to the place you want to go, and there's a little X, and in between there's little arrows, and those arrows are green or whatever color it is up until the point that you run out of action points.
Yep.
And then your little horsey turns, and it tells you how many turns it's going to take to get you there. And I'm like, but how do I know? Do I have like 12? Do I have 13? And they're like, no, it's represented by that green bar. I'm like, that green bar? It's like, yeah. How am I moving more now?
Because you got some bonuses, son.
Yeah, exactly. And I wanted a number. I wanted, because that's me. It's like in D&D, you rolling dice, and it's like, oh, I gotta roll above this, or I gotta roll below that, and I gotta do this with numbers. And no, there's none of that. It's almost like, you just kind of gotta guess. It's like, oh, I just moved that far, and then I started learning stuff like it was describing in the instructions on how to navigate, because I wasn't navigating the way that the creators intended me to. I was pointing and clicking everywhere I went, and I would select a hero, point to where I want to go, that's too far, and I'd back up, and I would go to the point that I could reach to. And then I started reading the book, and it's like, oh, no, that's not how you do it at all, Brian. You cycle through each hero and with this button here, and then you tell it your final destination, and then you cycle the day, and they may move to whatever point before you do that, and then when it comes back up that turn again, you just hit that button to tell it to continue on. And so I wasn't doing that at all. That's a terrible way to describe it, but I was not doing anything like the instructions that were telling me to do.
Sure. But don't feel bad. I think that's a lot of people the first time they hit this genre,
Yeah.
If you're not used to it, you didn't play the old ones, all this is going to be a little bit weird. Now, this game I'm looking at right now, you might even go, hold on, is that
That looks a
Is
lot
that 3
like
with mods? What is this?
Yeah,
Nope. This
that's
is
juicy.
This is Songs of Conquest, and that's one of the things I love about it is it keeps that retro aesthetic,
God.
but it's got like parallax scrolling. It's got a bunch of added shit you don't have in the old game. But man, they did such a good job of capturing this vibe. I recommend this highly. It's really good.
It did remind me of how when I played the original Age of Empires, there was no zooming in. There was I think they added some functionality later on, but like when you played Age of Empires, the first one, you just like whatever size they were on the screen.
3,
right?
think?
And there was some mods before then that went back and adjusted that stuff too, but you couldn't do it. So you couldn't zoom in. So it was just like if somebody got behind something, you're like, I can't. Where's he at? And
Well, in 2, they added a little outline of the guy. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
2's amazing.
Quality of life stuff.
2's
Also
so good.
So
That's
good.
part of the reason I talked. So Greg Street was the original designer on Age of Empires, and Age of Empires 2, I think, is his opus. It's so good. But he and I talk all the time, and I talked to him recently about this. The reason that the buildings in Age of Empires 1 seem small compared to the people is that very issue of like you're losing units behind structures. So in the second game, in order to make those castles and those buildings seem much larger and more in proportion with the characters or the little bitty dudes, that's why they started doing little red outlines around guys. Yeah, pretty cool, right?
It really helped a lot.
Yeah. Anyway, side note about a different game. But,
no, that it is connective tissue because, like I said, you have to realize when you're playing this game from 1999. It doesn't give you all that stuff where you can zoom in and stuff. You just kind of have wherever angle you're at. There's no rotating the screen around. Boop, boop, boop. None of that stuff.
Nope. Not even a hard rotate like a full 45-degree switch.
Nope.
Like Age of Empires had that, but this does not have that. This is one screen. That's one thing I really like.
No, it's actually more than one screen. This is something else that blew my mind.
Well, I don't mean it. It still scrolls, but you're not zooming in. You're not.
It's more than that because it's got another kind of game genre in there, which is you've got an overworld, but there's also an underworld. So you may have a map that you're like, look at a map, you're like, oh, okay, it's this big, this wide, this tall. This is my explorable area, but there's another whole map underneath it.
Yeah, there's an underworld in there. Exactly. There's caves. There's ways in there. There's all kinds of story shit under there. Songs Conquest does that as well. The Age of Wonder 4. I can't think. 4. I think is the one. That one has really great subterranean business going on.
Yeah,
that's a good game too.
So you're on the top. You're on the top layer because you're starting the campaign and you're playing the castle towns and you're exploring everything. And you're like, oh, I'm doing pretty good. I've revealed most of the map, and all of a sudden, somebody pops up out of a skull castle looking thing, and they start running around. You're like, where'd this guy come from? And you realize, oh, there's another whole kingdom underneath this thing.
Oh yeah,
I have yet to explore.
It's where all the chuds are, man. The chuds live under there.
Are.
What you're seeing here, this is Age of Wonder 4, and it's again following a very similar thing, lots of 3D and flourishes and all that, but really the basics are still the same.
Basically,
it's the three just established. Well, I never played 2 or 1, so I can't even speak to them.
You talking about Heroes?
Heroes. 3 and 4, 3 established the strong template that I don't think anybody has veered that far from. Like even Planetfall, Age of Wonders Planetfall, that's the name of the one I was thinking of, which is sci-fi. It's all like this, but sci-fi on different planets and stuff.
Right.
It's still that same template, just, a few tweaks here and there. You change, you do some different stuff. But for the most part, and there's an auto battle and some other things, but it's still following that template, which I think just says amazing things about Might and Magic 3.
Yeah,
or Heroes of rather.
That was the first thing you have to do when you're learning about Heroes 3 is there is another. It's the same company and it's in the same universe, but there is another series of games called Might and Magic.
I used to play those too.
And it started first, right? Yeah. It started first, but then Heroes became so successful, they kind of wrapped that into the Heroes thing, and it's a wild story. So you don't have to play one to play the other. You don't have to play any Heroes games prior to this. Heroes 2 was the template for Heroes 3. As a matter of fact, it's just a refinement of 2 because they had a much larger team because they had success with 2, and they took that and they rolled it into making something more whole and complete with Heroes 3, and they did. So they just refined what they already had.
Yeah.
And it's a really good refinement.
For those who don't know what it looked like, so this is Heroes of Might and Magic 3. This is the Heroes
That
template.
looks like Age of Empires.
It kind of does. You're not wrong. There's some weirdness, but yeah. So that's what that looks like. Now, if you said, "Hey, I want to play just regular Might and Magic, what's this Heroes of shit? I just want Might and Magic."
Yeah.
You'd be looking at this. It was a first-person, grid-based, walk a grid per movement type game. This is just one of them. There's a newish one, and it's like Wizardry. If you ever played Wizardry, if you ever played
Wizardry,
the new,
especially that first one,
those Grimrock, Legend of Grimrock, is that it? Those two, they're newish. I'm a giant fan of this kind of game. So these satisfied two very different itches for me. These two games, and I'm glad they both exist because they're both pretty rad. Do you want to see the screen for the original? Oh my gosh, dude. Look at the CGI.
Oh yeah, the first Might and Magic, the first one, the one that he wrote in college. New World Computing was, and I'm gonna butcher his name. I know that John Van, I know that part, but Canagan, I'm not sure. Maybe that's right. I've listened to some interviews with him, and I can never tell what. It always seems like it's UK people interviewing him, and I can't quite.
John Van Canegum,
something like that. Canegum. So anywho,
Canegum. Yeah.
He wrote that when he was in college. One man team. There you go. There's the guy. Yeah. And then he went on, and that was pretty successful for himself. He started his own business. He was publishing it himself. He's got some really great interviews out there. But yeah, check him out. But eventually for Heroes 3, he would actually kind of started stepping back some. They were having some success, and the teams were getting pretty big, and he had his interest was more in racing his cars and things at that time. I don't know where he finally ended up, but he kind of stepped away a little bit, and New World Computing kind of faltered a little bit because he was the founder, and I don't think they quite had the vision possibly that he had. Maybe I'm giving him too much credit. I don't know. Anyway, I only had a week to study for all this guy.
He was in charge of Command & Conquer for a few years. Got there at 2009.
Yeah.
Was there
obviously very capable, right?
Yeah, they closed the studio in 2013, but he was there the whole time. That's cool.
Yeah. So there you go. So
nice.
Oh, by the way, talking to that, if you were on Linux during like 2000, 2001, they had a version of this from Loki Software. So when Linux first started poking its head up to be like, everybody's desktop, that's what they were hoping for. It's like, we're gonna take a huge market share. We're gonna be the desktop. We're gonna be the competitor to the whatever Apple's got at the time, and screw Microsoft. We're getting in there. And one of the things, the belief was that, well, you got to get video games on there if you're going to get somebody completely off. And there was this company called Loki Software, and they, as Loki, like that kind of Loki, the chaos.
Yeah, the chaos lord or god or whatever.
Chaos, yeah. So I had like a steel box version of Quake Arena, I think. And I never had this game, but I'm kind of interested. But man, seeing that logo, that was some nostalgia pump for me because I was so excited. I'm like, yeah, finally, screw you, Windows. We're finally going to have a real competitor out here. Yeah, Linux forever, baby. Yeah. I'm turning all my Windows machines off. I'm finally going to be... No, it didn't happen.
Nope. It did not happen. I can promise you that.
Had fun.
Yeah, these games are great. I recommend checking them out. Like we said, the community around it is maybe its strongest point right now. And when the new one, the remake, comes out, I'm absolutely picking that up. I'm so stoked.
I did not do justice to the game description. You've just got to really get in there and play it. The day-night cycle, managing your towns so that you can have the appropriate creatures, as they call them,
Yeah.
is just, trying to figure all that out, figure out which one's your favorite flavor, and then figuring out which ones are effective against others. Then you can start working on, stacking stuff. And all that may sound boring on the surface, but once you start getting into it, man, it's a feast.
Well, you've
Feast.
described replayability, and this game has it in spades. So
much.
Yeah. Even now. Go play it now.
Yeah. Yeah. Go play it
Well,
now.
that's our game. There's a couple other little tiny things. The Heroes Chronicles 2000 to 2001. You mentioned that a little bit, but it's a series of
little
8
standalones.
mini campaigns. They're just little standalones. Worth checking that out as well. There's also the fan-made expansion based on the original mechanics. Adds the Cove faction, the pirates.
People love this,
People
man.
love the pirates. Yep.
I haven't got to the Horn of Abyss, Hoda. Hoda. But it was one of the first things people was like, got to put the Hoda on there. You got to get the SOD. A lot of abbreviations for this thing. You got to get the SOD.
Yep.
So you can also get the Hoda in there. Got to get the complete edition.
Yep. Ubisoft currently owns the rights to all of this, so whatever comes out, it's on them.
Yeah.
3DO was the publisher originally, which is a crazy thing to hear because everyone just thinks, oh, that weird console that Trip Hawkins made. Yeah. The same company, but they went away, which explains why this guy, the founder of New World Computing, ended up bouncing down to EA because it's probably just all connected there with the EA juice.
Yeah.
With
the EA juice.
before
Gross.
things got dumb.
By the way,
Yeah.
if you are looking for this, I once again will recommend the Good Old Games version. They do have this on Ubisoft, and Ubisoft sells the 2015 HD.
You mean
on
the
Steam.
Uplay thing, or are you talking about Steam?
So yeah, for Steam.
Got it.
So you only can buy Steam. You only can get the 2015 HD version. You don't want that one. And you can go to Ubisoft and buy the complete edition, just like you can on Good Old Games. However, you have to manage it through their little thing. You know what I'm talking about? Their little launcher. And it
What's that called? Uplay or something else now?
Uplay or something like that. It's
Ubisoft
$2.50,
Connect, I think.
$2.50 for the complete version over there. And I didn't know. I was like, nope, not
No,
worth it for
you don't-
$2.50. See ya, Ubisoft.
I'd really like not to use that stupid launcher at all. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Let's play a game we made up. Damn straight, son. This is a game.
Son.
This is a game that we made up a long time ago called Guess My Game. I'll play a little thing for it.
Destroy it. Ha 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 ha.
This is where we both play audio from an old game. We give a year and a platform. Then we have 4 possible choices of what it could be. Brian, I'm going to start this week with mine. It is a Sega Genesis game.
Oh, gonna listen to a little FM synthesis, are we?
Sure. Year is 1990.
Ooh.
And here's your audio. Clearly a Genesis game.
Yeah.
All right, it goes on like that, pretty much. Here are your options. A, is it Sword of Sodan? Is it B, Action 52? Is it C, DJ Boy? Or is it D, Shaq Fu? Now, these are all Genesis games. These are all real games. I'm not faking you out.
Right.
The only one on here that you may recognize is Shaq Fu, but the rest are definitely games. Sword of Sodan, Action 52, and DJ Boy. What do you say?
So it's not Choplifter?
It's not Choplifter, I'm afraid. Then
Dang it.
Chat, sorry, chat.
Okay. All right. Sword of Sodan, Action 52, DJ Boy, Shaq Fu. You know what's sad? I've seen lots of screenshots of Shaq Fu, but I've always kept the audio down. So I don't really know what it sounds like because I've never played it, and everything I've ever watched or seen has just been visual. So I don't know if that'll help me any, but it doesn't sound like a lot of. I'm not hearing a lot of, like in hoops and everything else. I'm not hearing that in there. Action 52 sounds interesting. DJ Boy sounds like BS. Sword of Sedan, maybe. I'm going to go B. Give me the Action 52. Just a total guess.
Let's find out if that's it or not. Is that correct? It is correct.
I be right. Yes.
You are B correct. Yeah, that is the game. This is one of the worst reviewed games in Genesis history.
What?
Yeah, I did a little
I
digging
know
around.
it sounded familiar.
Yeah, I thought I'd heard it before. I couldn't place why, but I went and saw some video.
Right.
I will not present that today. It is really bad.
Is it 52 points of action?
It's 52 points of sadness. That's what it is.
Oh,
yeah, it's really, really bad.
It's an unlicensed multi-card. Oh, nice. You got to love those.
Oh, yeah, they have one of those. But it's also it was on the NES. Oh,
NES,
someone in the
that's
chat
the
just said, Tonda just said, oh, Snap is on the Genesis. I only know the NES one. Yeah, the NES one is not any better. It's not a good game. Not that any of those are any good. DJ Boy, I remember being okay. Sword of Sodam was all right. And Shaq Fu was what it was. It was Shaq being kung fu-y and fighting. Which is still very weird he did that.
Kung fu-y.
Brian, let's get to yours. What's my platform? What's my year, please?
Sure. I went down the road a little bit to 1999 on the N64. The Nintendo 64.
Well,
Ultra 64.
Let's see what the Ultra 64 brought that year. Here we go. Sounds like something with a big jump.
A big jump.
Like a big high jump.
Boing.
All right, I'm going to go ahead. I guess tell me my options. What do we got?
Oh, yeah. I guess you don't want to just randomly guess? Come on. Your guesses here are A, Rayman 2, The Great Escape, B, Chameleon Twist 2, C, Aiden Chronicles, The First Mage, or D, Tonic Trouble.
Man, would you have chosen a Rayman game with your hatred of no joining wrists and arms and legs and stuff?
Maybe more than ever, possibly, or maybe not at all.
Chameleon Twist? I don't want a cherry on mine. Thank you very much.
The chameleon. Do the chameleon twist.
I don't know Tonic Trouble, and I don't know No, I do know Aiden Chronicles, The First Mage. That's not this. This isn't it. So see him taken off the board.
Pull and see out the board. All right.
I'm getting Rayman vibes. I'm going to go for it and say you picked Rayman for some reason. A.
The question is the answer A? Well, Scott, no, it is not.
Is it the tonic thing?
Oh, actually, it's Chameleon Twist 2.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, a bunch of platformers. This was Sunsoft bringing it to the N64. And it looks kind of fun. You've got a chameleon. He's got a long tongue, and he's whipping it around.
Nice.
It takes place after the events. You know what? And this is a description of it. The story of Chameleon Twist 2 takes place after the events in Chameleon Twist 1.
Wow. Well,
yeah.
Then
descriptive
indeed.
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. Let's now say that I lost and you won. Let's say that. So you get this. Oh, that's not it. No, I get that. I get that. You get a positive one. Like, let's give you this one.
Ray Racer.
Racer.
She whispers that so long at the end. Goes on for days. All right, well done. Let's get to the this here deal right here, which is welcoming something to retro.
Sonic.
No shit. Why does that keep playing? There we go. Welcome to retro, and the game is Coliseum Road to Freedom, July 20th, 2005. I was 10 days after my last time I barfed in my life, and I'm now 20 years on. I have not
Was it
barfed.
from playing this game?
No, it was from a bad salad at a restaurant I don't go to anymore. But anyway, Coliseum Road to Freedom It was a multiplayer action role-playing game in which you play as a slave forced to become a gladiator in ancient Rome. You earn your freedom by fighting in battles against man and beast. Soon you'll uncover the conspiracy that will shake the very foundations of the Roman Empire. I never played it.
I did not either, but I looked up some video, and guess what it looks like? It looks just like Coliseum Road to Freedom. Exactly what you would think.
Oh, good. That's fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, you're some warriors heading out there onto the dirt arena, and you're gonna fight in a Coliseum.
Yeah, not bad. All right. Well, I'm not convinced that is a game I'll play, but I am glad it exists.
Well, it's 20 years old.
20 years
and
old.
You do get to fight some bulls at some point.
Oh, well, then I'm all
be.
good. Sign me up.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Welcome to the treasure room.
BD. All right, it's time for us to play or talk. Sorry, read. I'm going to read something from a listener who sent us some feedback. That's what this segment's all about. If you want to do that yourself, just go to frogpants.com/playretro. There are multiple ways linked right there to do it. Voicemails, texts, emails, and more. This is from Scortus.
Scortus. I like that name.
Yeah. It's almost like It's like Scrotus. No, maybe it's more like what SCOTUS, I guess, is the the Supreme Court of America or United States of America. Anyway, whatever. He says, as a thought on costs. Hey, Play Retro Pals, Scortus here with a question about why those N64 carts cost so much more than the Genesis ones did by comparison. Do you guys know why? I saw Scott's post on Blue Sky about it, and I got curious. Yours in gaming, Scortus. Okay, so what they're referring to, and I'll pull these up so people can see it. I was on Blue Sky having a conversation with somebody who had some questions, basically said I thought the N64 carts were a whole lot more money than the like a Genesis cart. And he was right to a degree. He said $35 a piece. That was not correct. The average cost to manufacture a Sega Genesis cartridge, including ROM chip and plastic shell, PCB, and assembly, was somewhere between $5 and $8. Here's the breakdown: ROM chip, PCB, plastic casing, packaging, labeling, all that stuff. Right. It's about $8 on the high end. If you go look at this same thing, but with a N64 cart, here that one is. Those are somewhere between $15 and $25. That's considerably higher.
Well, it's the next generation too, right? We got more advanced chips, more memory.
ROM chip alone is another. Let's see, this one was 2 to 4. This ROM chip 8 to 18. That's most of your cost right there.
Right.
And you're right, because look, 64 to
Genesis
500
versus the SNES.
Oh yeah, I'd be curious about that too.
Yeah,
I don't think they were all that different, but their licensing fees were definitely different. So that makes a difference. Yes. But anyway, do you know any other reasons why this? I mean, it's 64 meg to 512, whereas these did a maximum of what, 24 on the high end or something?
Yeah, I think even the later stuff. Yeah, that's also what I'm curious about.
Seems nuts to me though. That much.
Yeah, and also Nintendo saw their carts in a really different way than how Sega saw their carts.
Yeah.
And they were often, up until the N64, and maybe even in a few exceptions, they were often looking at making a base unit that would be enhanced by chips that could be added to carts, right? So
sure.
As the technology moved along, they knew they could get cheaper parts and include those in the carts and kind of keep upgrading the system through the games, essentially, through the game carts.
Right.
And that's not how Sega worked at all.
No.
So, yeah, I don't know. It is a really interesting question, though. If you held both of them in your hands, you would be like, oh, why is this one so much more expensive? But there is a time difference, too, and how much technology cost and that sort of stuff.
Sure.
It's a really interesting question, though. I like to break it down all the way.
Yeah, I'd be curious
and
too.
Really compare apples to oranges.
Yeah, because I don't know. There's a lot there about. I mean, the reason this even came up is we're talking about Nintendo charging $80 for a cartridge. Back in 1993, you could buy a copy of Eternal Champions on the Genesis for $49. Only cost them $8 to make that cartridge. But that wasn't really the point. The point is that if you account for inflation, it was like $107 today for Eternal Champions.
Yeah.
Which would sound ridiculous. So in a way, Nintendo's not going full inflation. They've pulled back to a level that's not terrible. I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying that's where they're at.
Right.
So there's a lot of talk about game prices right now and where people think they should be.
Ideally, there's a point where advancement in technology and creating that technology becomes cheaper, and that kind of hopefully offsets the inflation going on. And so we haven't seen, just like a minimum wage, we haven't really seen a big increase in game cost over the years compared to the rest of everything else that's going up in inflation. So yeah, we kind of expect, for a long time we expected, well, my soda pop should be 50 cents. Scott, it should always be 50 cents. It's been 50 cents since the 80s. It should be 50 cents now. And that's just and maybe for sugar water, I guess you probably could.
Sure. Sure, why not?
But yeah. I'm with people though. It feels like we have, and this is just a reflection of how people really feel right now anyway, because their dollar doesn't go as far, so they can't dedicate it's a larger percentage to spend the same amount of dollar money. Then you add inflation on top of that, it seems outrageous.
Yeah.
Like if you looked at it a different way and said, this is how much money I was making in 1990.
Yeah.
And this is how much someone my age makes now. What percentage of their take-home pay could be spent on something like video games?
Right.
And yeah, it's complicated.
It is kind of, turns out there's more to the story, like always. Always.
Yeah. But $80 really, I mean, if you look at it, if you just crunch numbers, and from Nintendo's side, you would think, no brainer, that's how much it should be, because that's what we got to do to survive.
Yeah.
It's operation cost.
Sure.
Yeah.
And plus Nintendo, whatever, they like being a premium. They like doing it.
Yeah.
Those carts don't they don't cost a dime more to make than they did on the Switch 1, the Switch 2 carts, I'm saying. So them, in some cases, doubling prices or close to it is a little egregious, but they're also, they're Nintendo. So.
Name another standalone company that has their own hardware and game publishing that's been successful and lasted like Nintendo has.
Sony.
You can't.
Sony's close.
But Sony does so much more. Sony's not.
Yeah,
Sony
but they're easily the most money they make by far is on the PlayStation division. Everything else is secondary now. No, I do know that.
I believe you. I don't know that.
I know that from all of their. I mean, all you have to do is look at their earnings reports. It's just That's public.
I'm not looking at their earning report. Who are you?
Yeah. Why are you gonna go look at financial records?
They had to convince me to play Heroes 3 of Might and Magic, and you're talking about looking at earning reports.
Yeah, nobody can make you
do
that. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Here's what we are going to do, though. The Incredible Machine series, because Captain Kipper says we should cover it.
That's right, Captain Kipper.
And Graham's in the chat right now, and I want him to know we're doing this for you, man. We're going to cover the Incredible Machine series for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Other people have asked too, but you were the last one to ask. So, bam.
Yeah, take that. But it does turn out a lot of people are interested in the series. I have so little experience with it. I'm excited to learn what's going on with the Incredible Machine. I barely know about it. So this is going to be.
I feel like I'm really stretching these. Last week and then this upcoming week, I feel like I'm really stretching, playing games outside.
Oh yeah, out of your
what I play,
your zone. Yeah,
my zone.
It's good for us. It's good for us. Get out of that comfort zone. Find new things. Yeah. Now you're hooked on the Heroes of the Might and Magic. You're into.
I don't know how I'm going to stop. I really see this is going to be a problem.
I think Brian's going to end up getting the
just one
remake.
More.
When this remake comes out, it's yours. You're doing it.
Absolutely getting that. But the problem is me stop playing this one right now in between then and
yeah. I don't want to. I'm
in trouble, Scott.
I can't tell you what I want. What I really, really want.
Tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
I'll tell you what I want. I want people to join us on Patreon, patreon.com/playretro. People like Blarvis, Yansky Longpipe, and Craig Peterson.
Wait, was that again?
Yansky Longpipe.
Longpipe, I love that.
Yeah,
name.
Fantastic name. These are all brand new people. I want to meet this Blarvis fella.
Yeah, that's a great name too.
And then Craig Peterson. Craig, there's no offense to you at all, but you're just like the most normal guy on this list.
Craig's like me. I went by my just name for the longest time.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's fine.
But that's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. I do that now. It's who I go by. But Yansky, Longpipe, and Blarvis. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Anyway, these guys just joined us. They get no commercials ever. They get pre-show content every week. They get other monthly cool benefits. You need to sign up today and support your favorite retro gaming podcast. You can do that at patreon.com/playretro. You can also find our YouTube channel at youtube.com/@playretroshow. And the reason you're going to want to do that is the archive of the video version of the show that we record with all the visuals we show around these games. That goes there. Okay?
There's where it goes.
Sign up over there. That's going to do it for us. Brian, anything else you'd like to say before we go?
Yansky long pipe.
That's right. Put that pipe where it belongs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
Bye, everybody.
Frog in Pants. If you're looking for something froggy smooth, find more at frogpants.com.
Your own fate.